ozone, and regret that morning. I should have known something catastrophic was about to happen when Instructor Valrix decided to pair the human with our entire combat squad for hand-to-hand drills. Her name was Katie Morgan, and she looked absolutely unremarkable. Seriously, 5.5 feet of what appeared to be soft flesh, minimal natural armor, no visible weapons ports, and those weird little fingers that seemed better suited for picking berries than breaking bones. My species, the Thoraxians, stood 8 feet tall with exoskeletons that could deflect plasma rounds. We'd been conquering worlds when humans were still figuring out fire, or so I thought. This will be educational, Valrix announced, his triple-jointed arms gesturing toward the training mat. Cadet Morgan has volunteered to demonstrate human combat techniques. Volunteered. Right. The way she was grinning suggested she'd been waiting for this moment since orientation week. My buddy Krell leaned over, his mandibles clicking with amusement. 10 credits says she cries before the first takedown. 20 says she asks for medical assistance within 30 seconds. I whispered back that we were idiots. The first volunteer was Tormax, a Gorvian heavyweight who'd won 3 sector championships in graviton wrestling. He outweighed the human by at least 200 pounds. He stepped onto the mat with the confidence of someone who'd never lost a sanctioned fight, cracking his neck plates in that showboat way he always did. Katie just stood there, hands loose at her sides, still smiling. Begin, Valrix shouted. Tormax rushed forward like a meteor with anger management issues. The human didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't even stop smiling, which should have been our first warning that something deeply wrong was about to occur. At the last possible microsecond, she stepped sideways. Tormax's momentum carried him past her, and then, I swear on my ancestral hive, she did something that physics shouldn't have allowed. Her leg came up, hooked behind his knee, and she used his own weight against him. Tormax hit the mat so hard the impact sensors registered it as a seismic event. The entire class went silent. One down, Katie said cheerfully. Who's next? Krell's mandibles stopped clicking. Instructor Valrix's eye stalks twitched, which in our species indicates either extreme surprise or the onset of a stroke. Continue. He managed. 3 cadets went next. Simultaneously. Because apparently we'd all decided that strength in numbers would compensate for whatever dark sorcery the human had just performed. Wrong again. Scylla, a Creathian with 4 arms and a brown belt in plasma foo, came in high. Dravik, built like a bipedal tank, went low. Maxine. Yes, we had another species also named something close to the human's name, which made everything confusing during roll call. Attacked from the side with her electrified tail. Katie moved like water. No, scratch that. Water moves predictably. She moved like water that had decided to major in violence and minor in humiliation. Scylla's 4 arms grabbed nothing but air. The human ducked under Dravik's charge, used his back as a springboard, and launched herself at Maxine. There was a blur of motion, a yelp, and suddenly Maxine was on the ground with her own tail wrapped around her neck. Not choking her, just making a point. Scylla tried again. Katie grabbed one arm, did something twisty, and suddenly all 4 of Scylla's limbs were tangled together like organic rope. She toppled over like a confused pretzel. Dravik, bless his simple heart, tried to tackle her from behind. She dropped flat. He sailed over her, and somehow, through some biomechanical miracle, she kicked straight up while horizontal. Her boot caught him under the chin. He went down like a building in a demolition video. 4 down. 6 to go. Anyone else noticing? Krell whispered, his voice shaking. That she hasn't stopped smiling. The thing that terrified me most wasn't her skill. It was her efficiency. No wasted movement. No excessive force. She was dropping fully grown warriors like it was boring, like she was simply going through a checklist. Tackle Tormax. Check. Pretzel Scylla. Check. Make Dravik question his life choices. Check. Perhaps, Instructor Valrix said slowly, we should reconsider this exercise. No way. Katie called out. Bouncing on her toes like this was recreational. We're just getting started. Come on. I haven't even shown you the fun stuff yet. The fun stuff. She called this the boring stuff. I looked at the remaining 6 of us who hadn't been voluntold to participate in our own humiliation. We had a silent conversation using only our various eye stalks, antennae, and facial tentacles. The conclusion was unanimous that we were in serious trouble. The remaining 6 of us formed a loose semicircle around Katie Morgan, and I could smell the fear pheromones radiating off my classmates. For species that had conquered dozens of star systems, we suddenly looked like hatchlings facing their first predator. All at once, or one at a time? Katie asked, stretching her arms over her head with a series of pops that sounded like small arms fire. Your choice, really. I've got nowhere to be for another 20 minutes. 20 minutes. She thought she needed 20 minutes for 6 combat-trained alien warriors. She was overestimating. Grax, a Venlothian with acid sacs and regenerative capabilities, made the mistake of trying strategy. We should coordinate our attack patterns and exploit her obvious structural weaknesses. Katie's smile got wider. Oh, please do strategize. I'll wait. Take your time. That smile. That cursed, knowing smile. It was the expression of someone who'd already won and was just being polite about letting us figure it out. Instructor Valrix's eye stalks had rotated backward, which in Thoraxian body language meant he was experiencing profound regret about his life decisions. Cadet Morgan, perhaps we should, conclude this demonstration? But sir, Katie gestured at us like we were party decorations. We're having such an educational moment here. Isn't this what you wanted? Cultural exchange through mild violence. Mild. She called this mild. Krell cracked first. He charged with a roar that shook the observation windows. All 400 pounds of crystallized muscle and misplaced confidence. Katie sidestepped, grabbed his arm, and used momentum I didn't know existed. Krell flew through the air in a perfect arc and crashed into Grax, who'd been trying to flank her point 2 birds, 1 stone. Except the birds were armed soldiers and the stone was a terrifyingly competent human who probably wasn't even trying yet. Point 5 left. You know what's funny? Katie said conversationally, dodging a tail strike from Yenna without even looking. Everyone assumes humans are weak because we don't have natural armor or claws or venom sacs. But you know what we do have? She caught Yenna's tail mid-strike, yanked hard, and flipped the 7-foot reptilian onto her back. Spite. We have spite. And endurance. And this really annoying tendency to get creative when we're outmatched. For left, and I was beginning to understand why humans had gone from primitive tool users to galactic powers in less than 2 centuries. Braxton and Tillix tried the coordinated approach, coming at her from opposite sides with synchronized strikes they'd probably practiced for weeks. Katie dropped to a crouch so fast she blurred, swept Braxton's legs, used his falling body as a shield against Tillix's punch, then somehow rolled backward, kicked upward, and knocked them both unconscious with their own momentum. Point 2 left. Just me and Verrick, a Sothian who'd been suspiciously quiet this entire time. I surrender, Verrick said immediately, raising all 6 of his hands. Traitor. Cadet Verrick. Instructor Valrix's voice cracked with disbelief. You cannot simply surrender during a training exercise. Watch me, sir. I have functioning survival instincts and 3 offspring who need their parent alive. Which left me, alone, on a training mat, with a human who'd just dismantled 10 warriors like she was unboxing groceries. Katie looked at me with something almost like sympathy. You don't have to do this, you know? No shame in tactical retreat. But I was Thoraxian. We didn't retreat. We didn't surrender. We definitely didn't admit that a species a third our size had combat capabilities that made our military academies look like nursery programs. I charged. 3 seconds later, I was staring at the ceiling, completely unsure how I'd gotten there. My exoskeleton was intact, nothing was broken, but I couldn't move. She'd done something to my nervous system, some pressure point strike that shouldn't have worked through armor, but absolutely did. Katie appeared in my field of vision, still smiling, not even breathing hard. Good effort, though. You lasted almost 4 seconds. That's a new record today. Instructor Valrix slowly descended from his observation platform, his entire posture radiating defeat. Cadet Morgan, where, exactly, did you learn these techniques? Earth. Standard military training, sir. Nothing special. We all learn this stuff. Nothing special. Standard training. All of them. The entire class collectively reconsidered every strategic assessment we'd ever made about human military capabilities. Katie helped me up with surprising gentleness, then moved around the room, doing the same for the others. She checked Tormax for a concussion, unwound Sila's tangled limbs, and even apologized to Dravik for the chin kick. No hard feelings, right? She extended her hand to each of us in that weird human gesture. Good training session. Good training session. She'd hospitalized our egos and called it good training. As we limped toward the medical bay, Krell sidled up next to me. So, new plan. If we ever actually fight humans in a real war, surrender immediately. Surrender immediately, he agreed. From behind us, we heard Katie call out cheerfully. Same time next week, everyone. I'll teach you that leg sweep thing. There wouldn't be a next week. We were all suddenly very interested in transferring to the engineering track. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.